Hello everyone. In the first session, we are going to give you a brief introduction of the GST law, what exactly the GST law proposed to do as compared to what was there earlier, and also what is the taxable event in the GST. Please remember that prior to July 1st, 2017, we had multiple taxes. A tax can be a direct tax or an indirect tax. A direct tax is a tax on the income of a person, whereas the indirect tax is a tax on a specific event. So therefore, GST is purely an indirect tax. Prior to July 2017, there were multiple indirect taxes which were applicable to a business. There was value added tax or VAT, which proposed to levy a tax on the sale of goods. The taxable event for value added tax VAT was sale of goods. There was CST, Central Sales Tax, which proposed to levy the tax on the sale of goods interstate from one state to the another. There was service tax, which came with effect from 1994, which taxed the services which were provided. So therefore, for service tax, the taxable event was provision of service. There was excise duty, which was applicable on the manufacture of goods. So therefore, for excise duty, the taxable event was manufacture. And there were multiple other taxes like entertainment tax, luxury tax, etc. After July 1st, 2017, the government decided to merge all these indirect taxes into one single tax known as goods and service tax. Goods and service tax is very much existent in developed countries like Singapore, Australia, etc. The government wanted the complications to reduce. The government wanted one single taxation so that the businessman can focus on his business and finds ease of compliance in the respective taxes. Therefore, with effect from July 1st, 2017, the government introduced the goods and service tax legislation throughout the country. The GST law, which was announced by the government, was formulated by the government, and also it is going to be administered and is currently administered by a GST council. The finance minister of the country is the chairman of the GST council, and all the finance ministers of the states are members of the GST council. This council meets on a regular basis and decides various changes and relaxations which are given in the GST law from time to time. Since this was a new law which came from 2017, the people took some time to adapt to it, and therefore multiple changes were done in the GST law based on the feedback received from various business associations and various traders in the country. The taxable event for GST is supply. So therefore, there is no more sale of goods, there is no more provision of service, there is no more manufacture, there is only supply. So therefore, supply of goods or supply of services is the taxable event which triggers the charge of GST on the respective product or service. GST applies to the supply of all the goods or services other than alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Alcoholic liquor for human consumption has been excluded by the central government in the constitution itself. The taxability of alcohol for human consumption is left to the respective states. Other than that, on supply of all the goods and services, the GST shall be applicable. Please remember, the taxable event is very important. So therefore, we need to understand the concept of supply in detail so that we are clear on what the GST is applicable and on what the GST is not applicable. In the coming sessions, we will look at the concept of supply in detail, along with the respective schedules which give the various situations where GST is chargeable or not chargeable. We will look at time of supply, we will look at value of supply, place of supply, and also the multiple other rules and regulations what the GST law gives. The GST law is administered by the CGST Act 2017, that is Central Goods and Service Tax Act 2017, and each state or union territory have their own respective law. The state will have the SGST Act 2017 and the union territory will have the Union Territory GST Act UTGST Act 2017. There is also IGST, which is Integrated Goods and Service Tax, which is applicable on the supply of goods and services done from one state to the other. So all this and much more in detail shall be covered in the next few sessions. So therefore, the concept of supply will be very important for us to understand all the remaining concepts in a more clear manner. Thank you.